Now, Hasan Piker might not be a household name, at least among adults, but ask your kids.
Among adults.
His new role as a midterm surrogate for some Democrats is proof that his political influence is expanding far beyond the streaming platform Twitch, where he has taken up residence. He is, without question, an online influencer with nearly 3 million followers. His rise as a prominent voice on the left is now driving a wedge between Democrats, and for good reason. Hasan Piker's past and present is checkered with controversial, if not outrageous, if not bigoted comments like this one.
America deserved 9/11, dude. F it. I'm saying it. We totally put it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit.
The ultra-Orthodox Jews leaving Israel.
I don't understand why they always use the 9/11 one. I don't, because you can easily make an argument that American interventionism caused radicalization in the Middle East, which is what he's saying. Like, I feel like there's like 50 other clips that are worse than that. Like, that's just my opinion.
Real hilarious. Okay? If they serve in the military and then they get their untrained, inbred asses shipped into southern Lebanon.
Oh, I remember this.
Again, very funny.
You know, it's Hasan Piker calling Orthodox Jews inbred. Piker has also posted comments such as these, where he unequivocally sides with Hamas, calling them the lesser of two Israels compared to the evils, lesser of two evils compared to the government of Israel. Piker has since apologized for his comments on 9/11, but he stood by the rest. He's accusing others of taking him out of context. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, the leaders of the Democratic think tank Third Way write, quote, Mr. Piker is anti-American, anti-women, anti-Western, and anti-Semitic. No Democrat should engage with him. All should seek to push him to the fringe where he belongs, unquote.
I mean, anybody who does anything to try to like kind of minimize or delegitimize criticism of or promote or provide any sort of like help to any of these terrorist groups, right? The Houthis, Hamas, Iran as a country, really is obviously anti-woman and anti-Semitic. I mean, really, because these people, Hamas doesn't want to kill Israel, people in Israel. They want to kill all Jews. The Houthis have it. It's literally in like their flag or like their like mission, like your mission statement as a company. Well, their mission statement says they want to curse all the Jews. I mean, it doesn't say all the Israelis. It says all the Jews. So I mean, it's just categorically true.
Hasan Piker
and they kill them too. Like, it's not like this is some person with opinions. I mean, they do also kill them.
Recently become an issue in Michigan. It's home to a competitive three-way Democratic primary for governor. Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, one of the three candidates and a former CNN commentator, announced that Piker will join him for 2 rallies in April. His opponents quickly seized on that, slamming the decision as unacceptable, calling Piker not somebody that you should be campaigning with.
Well, the reason why they're probably doing this, there is a coalition of people that will try to make excuses for, allow, and then create inroads for Islamic radical extremism. And I think that Hasan does this. Like, there will never be a time where Hasan will side with America against radical Islam. This will never happen. And the odds are that this other guy is the exact same. That's the reason why they're doing it. It's actually that simple. And as soon as you, and again, if you don't believe what I'm saying, look in the past and wait in the future. And it will be proven every single time.
Moment when there's clearly a lot of pain and trauma across our state. Our Donnie O'Sullivan caught up with Piker over the weekend at a No Kings rally in New York and asked how he fits into the Democratic Party's future.
You have become an issue within the Democratic Party yourself. Tell us about that.
I don't think I'm necessarily an issue within the Democratic Party as much as I am an issue for a lot of consultants. I don't want fascism to win in this country. I don't want Republicans to win in this country. We can argue on the methods. Maybe you think that my worldview and my values and the policies that I want politicians to represent might be different than yours. But at the end of the day, I think we have the same goals.
I should note, I misspoke. It's a Michigan Senate primary, not governor primary. Jonah Platt is with us. He's the host of Being Jewish with Jonah Platt podcast. Peter Hanby is the founding partner of Puck News. And Peter, look, obviously he has said a lot of things that a lot of people find outrageous. And he called one Jew a Zionist pig dog. He has called Hamas the Palestinian resistance. He has justified October 7th, and on and on and on. What does his influence tell you about where the Democratic Party stands today? And I guess,
there's a lot of fucking... the thing is that he is a representation of the coalition that's being built that is anti-American, anti-Christian, and anti-white. That's basically what he is. I mean, he's going to push for and advocate for things that will work against those things. Racial solidarity against white people, religious solidarity against Christianity, and ideological solidarity against capitalism and Western thought. That's what's going to happen. And the thing is that a lot of people don't want to say this way. You're Christian? No, I'm not Christian, but I want to live in a Christian country. Does that make sense? And culturally, I think that there are a lot of people that are not really Muslims, but they're culturally Muslims, right? They practice Ramadan. They, like maybe they pray once or twice a day, and, maybe they don't eat pork, but they don't go to the mosque every week or anything else. Like, there's obviously very clearly a massive difference there.
Despite those comments or because of those comments?
I think it's despite those comments a little bit. I mean, back to your first question, what it says about the party. I think Dr. Abdul El-Sayed is looking for a lane in a three-way primary. He is slightly behind in the polling. And like a lot of Democrats and a lot of progressives, after the 2024 election, wants to connect with young people, connect with young men, go into the manosphere, go into the podcast space. It just so happens that Hasan Piker is aligned with a lot of Dr. Abdul El-Sayed's views on healthcare, on taxing the rich and billionaires, etc. He is a Bernie, AOC, Zoran guy. But with that, he has a long reputation of saying all of the things you just played here. I was just talking to you before the segment. I mean, I think it is a risk for Abdul El-Sayed to have him come into the state.
He's not, because it's the same audience of people. It's really not for that guy. I mean, it's the same people.
It's an obvious risk, but he is grasping for votes in a crowded three-way primary in a state, Michigan, which you remember from 2024, both in the primary, the Democratic primary, and the general election, has a lot of Arab and Muslim voters outside of Detroit, in Dearborn Heights, and Democrats have been suffering there, and I think he's trying to grab onto them. He's doing rallies at Michigan, in Michigan State, so he's trying to go after young people.
Well, Dearborn is another example of them trying to create a racial coalition and a religious coalition, and then vote and make decisions based off of that. I think this is the continual, this is the common thread between all of these things. It's so obviously the case. And it's so bad over there that they were worried about talking about the good thing that the Ayatollah Khomeini is dead. This is the guy in Iran that systematically killed thousands of his own people and has oppressed them for nearly 50 years. Well, not him, but, the regime has. This is it should be the easiest decision of your life. And why is it not an easy decision? Well, it's because you've brought a bunch of radical Muslims into the country that agree with him. That's the reason why. And I think it's obvious that's the problem. And it's a huge problem.
One thing I do want to point out, Jake, that you said in the intro, that he's not a household name. The Speaking with American Men project, which was launched to study men by Democrats after
how'd that go?
2024,
not so good.
Hasan Piker's name among young men. He's not well known at all. About half of young people don't know who he is. And then his favorable rating, he's negative 9%. He's underwater with faves. Only 20% of young men have a favorable opinion of Hasan Piker. And that's sort of why I say, is it worth the gamble to do this?
Interesting. And Joni, in that Wall Street Journal op-ed that I talked about, the think tank Third Way, they wrote, we're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hasan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. Donny O'Sullivan asked Piker to respond to critics who call him anti-Semitic. He quoted a few things that Piker had said, especially a Zionist dog or Zionist pig. Or, I think the actual quote was Zionist pig dog, whatever that means. Here is Piker's response.
I've spent my entire professional media career and far beyond that combating anti-Semitism. I've been doxxed.
Did you ban the people that were spamming hearts for the manifesto of the person that murdered 2 Israeli diplomats in cold blood? Did you ban them in your long career of combating anti-Semitism? No, you didn't. No, you did not. So, well,
swatted by neo-Nazis for my consistent advocacy against anti-Semitism. I just also happen to be an avowed anti-Zionist. I believe Zionism is a very racist ideology. It's an ethno-religious supremacist ideology, and it's the underpinning ideology that has caused the genocide of Palestinians in the hands of Israel and also the United States.
I wonder what Hamas thinks about other ideologies. I wonder, you know, like if Hamas was in control, do you think that there'd be any Jews? Goodbye, Jews! Yeah, I wonder, guys. Oh, wow, it's a big mystery.
States of America.
Jonah, there's a lot to unpack there. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, what Piker does that a lot of people of his ilk do is they try to inoculate themselves against claims of Jew hatred by pointing it out in places that aren't them. He's been very clear pointing things out on the right. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. These are the tropes they use. And then he'll use the exact same tropes and just sub Jew for Israel, which is the place where all Jews collectively have a connection to, and is the homeland where more than 50%.
Isn't it crazy that they can't even have one country, some shithole that's the size of New Jersey, Israel? They can't even have that. I mean, bro, think about, like, god damn. People are just not having it. Just let them have it, man. God damn.
Percent of Jews on planet Earth live. So it's
Right.
not, he would never say Jews control the
they
media,
kicked
but
out
Israel
again?
controls the media.
The 110th country is going to be Israel. Oh my God.
And, you know,
Right.
the Jews didn't pull us into the war with Iran and control the American government, but Israel does.
Yeah.
And so he's able to sort of get away with some of this stuff in these subtle ways when really his impact is just as harmful as any out and out anti-Semite. Just he's got a different name and he comes from a different wing of politics.
It's interesting. Politico asked a bunch of Democratic politicians running for president or who might run for president.
It's pretty simple. If you can't unequivocally condemn a group of people that are openly advocating for the extermination of a race of people, then you have a problem. It's very simple. Like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis and the Iran government, the IRGC, these are radical genocidal organizations that will try to not only purge their own people, but then also go out and purge non-believers that are outside of their own community as well. If you can't unequivocally condemn that, then you've got a big problem. You've got a huge problem. It's such an obvious reality, and Israel isn't. You can condemn Israel too. You can say Israel's bad too. But if you don't have those other ones on the list, then I think that you've obviously got a bias, don't you? It's totally fine for you to condemn Israel. That's totally okay.
Would ever do his podcast. And the only two Jews thinking about possibly running for president, Rahm Emanuel and Josh Shapiro, both suggested that they might be willing to.
I think this gets to something important with this debate in Michigan. It's different to go onto his podcast and joust over ideas. I think seeing Josh Shapiro and Hasan Piker on his Twitch stream would be fascinating. I think Josh Shapiro is smart and they would have a spirited debate, as we say in politics. The difference is going out to campaign with somebody and the candidate, it's implicitly endorsing his views or suggesting, why don't you come to Michigan and campaign with me? That's the difference. I think candidates should be able to go on to podcasts with people who disagree with them. But yeah, I mean, the politics
I think he's right about that. There being
Israel
a
heading into
distinction.
2028 are going to be fascinating. You're already seeing tons of Democrats kind of come out against AIPAC, but also defending Israel. Gavin Newsom obviously had to walk back, calling Israel an apartheid state. The other thing that's a factor here, the more Democrats engage with influencers heading into 2028, they're going to have to confront some views, things they might have said in the past.
Quick one sentence.
That's true. I mean, yeah. And a lot of creators, the thing is that Like, whenever you do a show on TV, you're live for like an hour. Whenever somebody live streams, they're live every day for like 6 hours. So the probability that somebody says something that's bad is like extremely high. Like, basically, anybody who ever talks about social issues on the internet in an unscripted live format has thousands of clips, at least hundreds of clips, of them saying something that in a vacuum and sometimes even objectively sounds really fucking bad. Like, this is just the reality of having long form talk radio, basically. And you're gonna say things that, you know, out of context might sound really bad, and some things that even in context sound bad still.
Thoughts on this? You worried about the direction of the Democratic Party?
To you?
I'm worried. I agree that
again.
they should be able to debate, but they have to come in clear-eyed and know that they're there to debate and push back on these bad ideas, not to get it chummy and have a fun conversation.
Thanks so much for being here. Great. What a great time to be in LA to have you both in studio. Really amazing.
Thanks, Jay.
Oh boy. Well, there it is. We'd be watching the Artemis 2 launch in around 4 hours. Will I be watching the moon launch? Yes. Absolutely, bro. We going to the moon today. What the fuck you talking about? Of course we're gonna watch that. Duh. Like, what are you, dumb? Hell fucking yeah. So, has done so much damage to the left, it might as well be considered a right-wing ally. I think that, I mean, again, Hasan is only one person, right? I think that there is the fact that he represents that group of people that want to bring third worldism into America.